It's Morphin' Time! And this is sponsored by Krispy Kreme. Alright guys, we just got finished watching Power Rangers. Right off the bat, I'm just going to say this straight out. It was way different than I was expecting.
I didn't expect that.
It was like, when I walked into the theater, I had this thought in my mind of like, okay, this is how it's going to play out. Where there's going to be a whole bunch of cheesy teenage kids. They're going to make a lot of stupid-ass jokes.
Right.
And it's just all the graphics are gonna blow. It's not going to be realistic. I'm setting myself.
Hall pass.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a lot of that. And to my surprise, right from the get-go, there's like this kind of...
It's a dark tone, man.
Dark tone.
Dark tone, serious.
You see Bryan Cranston playing... Yeah. They're not following the traditional storyline here. Bryan Cranston is actually playing the Red Ranger, like opening up in this movie, and it looked like Rita was also a Ranger.
Okay. This is the cool part about it, is that they show you the Rangers, and you think they're humans. It takes place in the...
like primitive Earth or something.
Cenozoan period or something
65
like
million years ago.
Yeah. And they show you the Red Ranger, there's like burns on his armor. They show you a Yellow Ranger, and then they show you the Yellow Ranger passes on the coin, and it reveals the true form, which is an alien.
Yeah.
So, they're aliens, man. Rangers can be anybody.
And, like, it opens up with kind of like a war zone kind of scene to it. I mean, there's explosions everywhere. Bryan Cranston, you can clearly tell he's a Red Ranger because of his voice, and he's just, kind of not struggling through mud, but he's crawling through mud, taking the coins from the Yellow Ranger, and they're obviously fighting a threat here, and then it's revealed over Bryan Cranston's shoulder, over the Red Ranger's shoulder, it's Rita Repulsa, and she looks like she's the Green Ranger.
Yeah, she's a Green Ranger, man.
Here's the thing that surprised me about it.
That's a little twist, I think.
Oh, yeah. Like, I was pleasantly surprised. Right from the get-go. Right. As soon as I saw that, I was like, okay, this is not... Everything I thought I was going to see, throw it out the fucking window.
Right.
Because this is like a movie that, they could have gone two ways here. They could have gone full-on cheese, and in some parts it was full cheesy, but...
Which I didn't mind.
Yeah. But yeah, I didn't mind it at all. It wasn't like a bad cheese. Or they could have gone the serious route, and they went the serious route, bro.
It was nice. It was a nice treatment for this movie.
The thing is let's just talk the actors here, the teenage kids. Now, they followed all the original names: Billy, Jason,
Kimberly,
Trinity,
Dee,
Zach,
Trini.
Is that Trinity? Trini.
It's Trini, but they call it Trini.
That's right. Sorry, Trini. But they all, I thought, did a pretty good job.
My God, this was a really good cast, you guys. I really think that I didn't expect to like every character. I mean, it's a reintroduction of these characters, of the concept of Power Rangers, and the way they did it was, I think they took enough time to teach you that these kids they all have their own problems. Not to teach you, to show you, they all have their own trouble, their own problems. They each come from different, basically, parts of society in the high school and in their own homes, and they each have different families and the way they operate, but they're all sort of like outcasts.
Yeah, they're all outcasts.
Even though some of them are popular, they're outcasts.
And I did like the chemistry between all the five teenagers. It was actually pretty believable in the sense that... Yeah, exactly. You tell them. They were all believable, and they all meshed well together, and it kind of is revealed in the movie, throughout the movie, that in order for them to turn into Power Rangers, I feel like they had to bond. They had to really care about each other.
There was no way that they could become Power Rangers, at least armor up, without that synchronicity, that synchronization.
Yeah, and let's go back a little bit. How did they find the ship?
Well, the thing is that I think Billy was really the centerpiece of the entire thing, because
I agree.
He's autistic. He says he's in the spectrum. Okay,
is he autistic? Really?
He's supposed to be. Yeah.
I didn't get that at all. But okay,
I was reading some interviews and reviews of the movie, and he was supposed to be autistic. Trini was supposed to be lesbian, and these are sort of twists in this new storyline of Power Rangers. But it wasn't prominent. It wasn't like, oh, check out the autistic kid who's now a Power Ranger, or check out the lesbian who's now a Power Ranger. It's just more of like, these are aspects of these guys, and they're things that they sort of deal with in secret, you know?
Not thinking about it, I think you might be fucking right.
I mean, look, Billy was sort of like a ADD, right? Like, he was obsessive compulsive OCD.
He's probably my favorite cast member.
Yeah, I really liked him.
In the Jason was also pretty good though. Now,
I like Zach the most, I think.
Really, the Asian guy?
Yeah,
Okay.
he was sort of tough, but not too tough, just enough to where like he impulsed the team to essentially get to where they needed to go.
Now, at first, I was like, okay, I thought they were gonna do the typical thing of not to bring race or anything into it, but I thought they were gonna be like, okay, white girl, you're the Pink Ranger. Asian, you the Yellow Ranger, you know,
Yellow, yeah. Black Ranger,
you're the black one,
right?
But they didn't really do that at all. Zach, the Asian guy, he was the Black Ranger,
yeah.
And now I really actually enjoyed. By the way, they only turned Power Rangers towards the very end,
once,
right?
Basically.
Yeah, well, once
when
and
they
done.
need it. Yeah.
But I actually enjoyed the entire way leading up to it.
I really like that too, because essentially the movie is, this is a new Power Ranger team, and they need to figure out how to mesh, how to work together, and have harmony in the team to essentially neutralize this threat.
Now, the thing is with this movie, leading up, I enjoyed everything when they gained their powers for the very first time, and they're running away from the cops in that mining site, and then all of a sudden they wake up at their houses. They all don't know how they
got there,
got transported there, but that's when they started all noticing like things are changing. Bodies are kind of ripping up. Strength beyond their belief.
Yeah,
and I definitely like the fact that the movie mainly kind of followed this bunch of teenagers through that transaction here.
The transition.
Through that transition.
I really did enjoy that, actually. As soon as they went like 3 or 4 times without morphing, I realized, okay, this is the point of the movie, is these guys need to mesh. They need to understand what it is to be a Power Ranger. It seemed like Zordon at times was maybe had an agenda, but it really was him trying to get this team together and to basically be who they were supposed to be, who they could be, who he knew they could be.
Now, what do you think of Rita Repulsa? What's her name?
Elizabeth Banks. My God. Banks. First of all, I've loved her since 40-Year-Old Virgin, okay?
She was incredible in that movie.
She blew me away, you guys. I saw the images and I thought, okay,
this looks stupid.
Actually,
from the images,
it piqued my interest. Okay, I thought, okay, let me see this take. I mean, the old Rita Repulsa had the gray hair that was like in little pigtails and little pointy ears, and like a net
way over the top,
just too over the top, right? Big ass dress. She did have the big scepter. Okay, this Rita was, I mean, she was awkward, but she was direct to the point. She was creepy. Elizabeth Banks' laugh is, since 40-Year-Old Virgin, is kind of creeped me out, but it kind of a turn on. But she killed it, man. I love her laugh. I love her approach to like when she was trying to talk to Trini and tell her, hey, look, like, you're the new Yellow Ranger, huh? I killed the last Yellow Ranger. That whole fight, that whole sequence with her, her accumulating the gold, man. I just loved her approach. She took it really serious, but never made it feel like, oh, she's going over the top.
This thing could have ended, or could have taken a turn for the worst.
Big time.
With Rita Repulsa being bad. Now, I felt like Elizabeth Banks, I mean, look at the source material here, okay?
Yeah.
You got Rita, if you look at the original Power Rangers, that is, Rita's way over the top.
Like, if she would have done that, you guys, you would probably be like, fuck this movie.
Yeah,
I would have said that.
And it wouldn't have matched with what the actual teenagers, how their acting abilities were kind of up here a little bit.
They upped the game, man.
Yeah.
Those guys definitely upped the game for the Power Rangers.
And Elizabeth Banks did such a good job at taking, okay, what is the source material, and saying, okay, let me modernize this a little bit, right? Let me keep some of the evil laugh, so to speak. But
Yeah.
now let's not go over the fucking top. Let's borderline it right before.
She tamed
it was pretty cool. What'd you think of her monster, Goldar?
Well, I sort of, seeing the trailers, I already knew it was going to be Goldar, but I expected Goldar to speak like in the show. So the thing is, don't expect the show, man. This is not the show. There has never been anything like this Power Ranger wise.
Now, if you did like the show, though, you're in for a treat. I mean, by the time if you've seen the show when you were a teenager, you're around our age. You're like early 30s here.
Right.
And you're going to really, really appreciate...
I mean, you know what's up. You know who the putties are. Okay, you know the fact... Well, she doesn't have the little maker to make the putties this time. She just does it herself, which is something I liked. It's direct. If she wants something, she gets it done. And Goldar was apparently her friend. I mean, she said she missed him, so...
She kind of talked to him like she was, he was her friend.
Right, which is... I like that. Goldar never said anything, obviously, but I like that...
Goldar was like... Oh, in the movie.
Yeah. In the movie, Goldar was just basically this giant monster who was hell-bent on finding this crystal that's supposed to be embedded in the earth. Yeah,
I was going to say, if he talked plenty in the source material, like with that wolf dog face.
And here's another thing that I liked, okay? There was once an iteration of Power Rangers called Power Rangers Zeo, okay? I never really followed anything other than the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Maybe Turbo for a second, but I didn't go any further than that. These crystals, what basically propels the story is the fact that there's these crystals embedded on planets called Zeo crystals, that when you combine these crystals, it essentially gives you ultimate power. But the thing is, these planets lose life. They essentially die out.
You destroy the planet, essentially.
Yeah, you destroy the planet if you take the Zeo crystal. So, essentially... That's her mission. Her mission was to take this crystal. She betrayed the team originally, but somehow Zordon was able to trap her somehow and then protect the Earth until these crystals, the coins were found.
I mean, Zordon. The way Zordon was able to defeat Rita at the time was pretty much like hide the crystals, the Power Ranger crystals, right? The coins. The coins. Yeah. And then he just said, Alpha, bomb the shit out of us.
Basically, kill us.
Kill us. Yeah. Throw the meteor over here.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened. Now, here's the thing. There's a lot of... If you did watch the original show, you will notice that there are some little Easter eggs here and there.
Oh, really good
right? Ones. Like the putties is one. You got Jason David Frank and the original
Amy Jo Johnson.
Yeah, that's her name. Amy Jo Johnson. They make a cameo appearance towards the end, taking fucking selfies with the actual Megazord over there. Now, by the way, guys, there is a end credit scene. It's not at the very end, but it's worth the watch.
Really worth the wait.
Now, for sure, they're gonna make another.
They're gonna make another one, man, and I'm excited they are, because this movie.
I can't believe I'm saying that.
I literally left the movie like, this is it. Like, not in a bad way, just more like, God, I want more. I want more Power Rangers.
And what did they call the other guy? Jason.
Tommy.
Tommy.
God.
I want to say Tommy Gunn, but that's the boxer.
Like Tommy David or something like that.
Yeah, but they essentially the end credit scene is they introduce Tommy, who's gonna be
the Green Ranger.
And you know what I think is gonna? I think if they do make a part 2, and they'd be fucking crazy if they don't make a part 2, right? Mm-hmm. I think the perfect way to introduce the Green Ranger is to pretty much introduce him as a bad guy.
See, and here's the thing that they make kind of clear off the bat is, and we know this because we watched the TV show, the legacy of the Green Ranger is ultimately an evil one. He's never been good, even though in the show he turned good. But, I mean, obviously, in this movie, they show you Rita betrays the team. Just like Tommy, essentially, sort of lied to the Power Rangers in the show, right? In the movie, she killed off the Power Rangers.
Now, I think what happened here is the way Tommy... If I had to take a guess on how he's going to get his powers, right? Towards the end of the... Well, before we get to Tommy a little bit, let's just talk about how this movie ends. The end battle scene, okay? With Goldar and the Megazord. Well, I mean, what do you think about it?
Okay, here's only little gripe on that is that it kind of seemed... Which actually, it falls in line with the Power Rangers, is it was a linear fight. There was never multi-angles to this fight when they have 5 Zords that can attack from all directions. They all attack linearly. It's all from the front. The only one that really attacked from a different angle was Kimberly, because she had the flying one.
Yeah, she had the flying.
And she did the flying attacks where she would lift certain Zords and then throw them directly at Goldar, which I liked. But that was the only gripe I had. But obviously there was a reason why it was linear. I mean, ultimately it led to the formation of the Megazord.
Now, my little gripe about the end fight scene when it comes to Megazord and Goldar was, in the television show, the Megazord had a signature finishing move. Right, with the sword, right? And I don't think we got that. Like, we didn't get that ultimate.
The ultimate, like...
Yeah, like, whatever. Like, you know, like super cheesy graphics on the back. And we didn't get any of that, right?
Which was good.
It's fine. It wouldn't have matched with this movie anyway. No. But I think one of their signature moves was like that suplex, you know, kind of Mr. Perfect style. Yeah. It was kind of a suplex kind of thing. That is my only gripe when it came to the end fight scene. Now, I bring that up because the way they defeat Rita is Goldar is defeated.
Yeah.
Rita kind of comes out of the Goldar monster. Mm-hmm. She charges the Megazord, and then they pimp slap her. Like
out into space.
It was kind of weird because I didn't think that they were going to do that.
I didn't think so
for some odd reason. Like I was thinking, how does she get to the moon? And they literally just pimp slap her,
which is cool because we know this. She's on the moon. That's where that's where in the show they find her. So they smack her into space, and they don't show her landing on the moon. She crystallizes in ice
in space. Yeah,
but we know she's going to the moon. I mean,
the moon's right behind her.
Yeah.
I mean, you see
that's the base. Yeah.
But here's the thing. Now, when it comes to Tommy, this is how I suspect he got his powers, or he's going to get his powers. Right when they pimp slap the shit out of her,
it's a grand slam.
Like she had a scepter, right? And that scepter was powered by like a green coin, right? So I'm thinking when they pimp slapped her, they probably the coin flew out of her hand or something, landed somewhere in the city where Tommy is.
Just casually happened to find it, which he's a new student apparently.
Yeah, he's a new student.
At least new attention.
And clearly Elizabeth Banks, Rita had the green coin because when she was powering up, I mean her costume was green and gold.
Yeah.
Green and gold was the theme here. So that's the smart way, I think, to introduce Tommy.
Yeah.
Now, do you think when the time comes, Tommy's going to be a bad guy?
I think right off the bat, that's going to be the next threat. But here's just my guess. He's going to be the main threat that they're going to have to sort of like, oh, let's figure this guy out. But in the wings is going to be Lord Zed.
Yeah, because she was mentioning like there's more coming.
Yeah, God, Lord Zed has to be the next one.
Oh man, do you think he's gonna look similar to
muscle
the costume
and like the fucking mask
and
with the Z staff?
Yeah.
I hope so. I really do. Just like a more macabre, like maybe he's got his flesh burned off, like he's got a life support system. I think that would look cool.
Now, when it comes to this, there was a lot of. This movie is pretty funny too. It had a lot of cool, unexpected jokes. Okay, now I have to talk about this because it was kind of like I've never seen a movie other than like maybe Transformers that had the most dead-on obvious product placement.
Oh, big time.
I mean. Krispy Kreme
was at the forefront, man.
Where's the crystal at? Under Krispy Kreme. I mean, and it was like
Rita took a second to taste one of the delicious donuts.
She tasted the fucking Krispy Kreme donuts
in the middle of like Goldar digging for the crystal.
And not to mention, like at that time period when Rita was chewing on that donut. I swear each Power Ranger said Krispy Kreme. Like, because they were like, is she Krispy Kreme? Yeah, she said the Krispy Kreme.
They all took turns saying, the Krispy Kreme. Let's protect the Krispy Kreme.
Yeah, it was like, I heard like 5 Krispy Kremes rapid fire.
Look, oh God, yeah, Krispy Kreme was the heart of this. Definitely product placement.
But the thing is even though it's super obvious, right? Yeah. But I think they intentionally did that. Clearly, it's like because it's clearly funny.
And like another thing is they kicked the Camaro And he says, Jason says, sorry, Bumblebee, which it's cool. It's like they clearly live in a universe or in a world where they know everything we know. They talk about superheroes, right? They talk about Transformers, Krispy Kreme.
They talk about the Avengers.
Yeah.
Like, we're not this guy or this guy.
Yeah, they mentioned Iron Man.
Iron Man, Captain America. Iron Man for sure. They mentioned something else.
So they live in our world. This is where they're operating, our world, where everything that we know and we enjoy, they're enjoying.
Now, I gotta say, I'm like, the only movie in my mind that did a product placement better and funnier. I mean, can you think of a movie?
Little Nicky.
Okay.
Popeyes is a shit thing.
Okay.
That one's always standing out to me.
I was gonna think of
Subway and Happy
Gilmore or Happy Madison or
whatever.
One of his shits. Yeah. But mine was Wayne's World.
Oh yeah.
When Garth is like in a full blown Reebok outfit eating Pizza Hut and shit. I was like, it literally is almost at that level. Yeah. It was almost at that level. Yeah. Oh man! Now, any negatives?
Well, I mean, look, because Billy is looking for the crystal. He's synchronizing where he estimates that the crystal is, and he looks up and he's smiling, and it's at the Krispy Kreme. So yeah, definitely.
Now, any possible negatives here?
Yeah, just the fight, the last Goldar fight, I think was a little too okay. It was a little too linear, like I said. They could have done a little bit better. I don't know that... Well, I mean, he was a fucking huge-ass monster, so sure. He was enough of a threat, plus the putties were kind of overpowering everybody. But that was the only thing. That was really the only thing, was that fight.
For me, it definitely would have to be that fight was not as epic as I'd like it to be. I mean... Keep in mind, I don't know what the budget was in this movie, but it's the first one. They definitely don't want to blow their wad because they don't know if it's going to be successful or it's going to tank or anything. They don't want to risk too much money on that shit. I mean, I wouldn't. But towards the middle, it slowed down a little bit.
Just a little bit.
And the thing that kind of brought me... Because I remember like maybe 40 minutes in... I went on autopilot, dude. I'm staring at it, and I'm just like... my brain almost, like, shut off. Like, it was just, like, staring.
To me, it sort of happened right around the time when they're having a little campfire, and they're talking about their problems, basically. Sure, and that part of the movie was a little slow, but I think it did its job in the sense of... It introduced you to the fact that these guys don't really know each other, and they have to. They have to sit down, literally, in a campfire, and talk to each other, and talk about... what they're afraid of or what their secrets are.
The only thing that saved the slow moments, like right in the middle, was a joke here and a joke there. I mean that was pretty much it. Other than that, what'd you think of the costumes?
I thought they were great.
I thought they were pretty good.
I'm used to the original ones. Actually, that's something that I really still like about the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie.
The costumes?
The White Ranger suit. I still love that suit. I didn't like when they were in the ninja forms, but when they went into their armor, I love that suit in particular. So I really like these suits. They had a similar feel. It did look like armor, like they needed it. I love the fact that they don't have to go, it's morphin time. It's just like, we need it now. So they just suit up.
Yeah, I'm wondering, like, the suit isn't like...
They do say it.
They do say morphing time.
But they can do it whenever they want.
Right. And the thing is I was wondering... They're not really suits. They kind of are more like an organic part of your self.
Right. They come from inside.
It kind of reminds me of like Venom when he
the symbiotic suit. Yeah.
The symbiotic suit. It kind of it looks like that. I was going to say I didn't. When it comes to the most iconic suit, you got to say Green Ranger. I mean, White Ranger's pretty damn close, but Green Ranger...
The Green Ranger is pretty iconic, but for me, I always like the tiger aspects of the helmet, and the gold, and the black, so that's why I prefer the White Ranger.
I would have actually said the White Ranger too, but there's one fucking thing that kills that outfit, and it's the fucking talking tiger head that's oh my god, Saba. Anyways... Good, bad, your rating.
Alright, so the good is literally... I just think the way they approached the movie. They gave it the respect that the material, I think, needed. The bad is that last fight with Goldar. It was a little too... It seemed a little too easy. A little too linear, again. So I'm going to give this movie a B+.
I'm actually surprised you're giving it a B+, bro. I mean... Okay, so my good is...
I want to say an A, but it's just that last Goldar fight that I'm like, okay.
If that last fight was epic...
You know, and we talked about like the fact that it slows down in the middle. Those things, I think, keep it from being an A movie. But I enjoyed it like an A movie. It's just, ultimately, for me, it's B+.
Like, for me, I like the humor, okay? Like, from the opening get-go, they're throwing jokes at you like jerking off bulls and shit.
Oh, yeah.
I started kind of... I tried not to laugh. I tried not to laugh so hard because I didn't want to be. I don't want to be that guy. Yeah. So and I was like, "Oh, have you guys ever morphed before?" Oh, only in the shower. Like they have dirty humor in here, right? So I like that. I like the fighting. I like the costumes. I like Rita Repulsa and how Elizabeth Banks portrayed Rita, the character. I didn't like the pacing in the middle. I think it slowed down too much for me. It could have been up 3 more notches, it would have been perfect. The end fight scene was the weak link, and even though I know why they did this, I didn't like the way they disposed of Rita Repulsa. Just a quick, and she's gone. Right?
Sure.
But the thing that I was going to give this, thinking on the drive here, I was going to give it a C, just a straight C, but. The epicness that is Krispy Kreme up in this movie propelled it to a B. That's how funny I found the Krispy Kreme shit.
It was pretty funny. And you can tell that it is done on purpose.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's product placement, but it went a little further than that, and so it became funny.
Yeah. And if they would have gone 2 notches more, then I think it would have lost a little bit of humor.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
They would have burned it.
So... Guys, what'd you guys think of this movie? I mean, obviously we like it, right? I mean, but we grew up with the shit. I mean,
another thing that they do is when the Zords are finally all charging for the first time, they have a little new motif of the Go-Go Power Ranger song, which I love.
Oh, that's right. I can't believe I forgot to mention that.
I felt inside, I was like, yes. I'm glad that they did this. It deserves it.
And it's really like they follow the same lyrics as Go Power Rangers.
I mean, listen, guys. This is how much we love Power Rangers. In high school, we used to drive around to the tape. We used to listen to the music, guys. We drive around and talk and like, yeah, this song's bumping, man. Go Green Ranger, go! You know, we
I had a fucking cassette tape of the soundtrack of the Power Rangers, and that's what we would rock.
In the Oldsmobile, man.
Jesus Christ, that's old as
Taking it back.
Shit.
Yeah.
But you know, they had a little. They had the same lyrics, just a little bit of a newer, modern sound to it. But the lyrics were the same. Go Power Rangers. You know what? Fuck it, dude. It's a B+.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
That just upped it half a letter right there, bro. B+. Anyways, tell us what you guys thought about it. Did you guys like it? Did you guys hate it? Did you guys think it's going to be a good idea for them to do a part 2? I mean,
what do you think?
I hear there's going to be like 5. They want to do 5.
Like its own super.
We'll see how number 2 goes. But for now, you'll catch us next time with Chips. Stay tuned. Later.